Hello YouTube, my name's Nero and today we have some Call of Duty Advanced Warfare and another episode of DNA Saturday, which is the weekly series here on my channel where subscribers send me in DNA bombs. That was the Cray class we're going to be using throughout the entirety of this gameplay. If you guys would like, you guys can go back and pause the video to try and get a look at the class, but keep in mind I will be talking about the attachments and the perk setup and things like that throughout this video. So what's happening here, it's actually a game of domination here on the map Recovery, which I always want to call this map Horizon, right? Because if you actually look at this map, it's got a beautiful horizon around it, right? You got the sunset and all that stuff. It just looks good, but no, it's called Recovery, which is just like a really generic name that I always end up forgetting. But yeah, I mix up this map as well as Horizon. I mix up the names of those two maps quite a bit. But regardless, it's actually a game of domination here on the map Recovery, and we're actually running around with the SN6, one of the most underrepresented submachine guns in Advanced Warfare, in my personal opinion. And the gameplay itself is actually sent in by a guy that goes by the name of Atomic, of which we'll actually be talking about his channel here towards the end of the video, like we usually do on different episodes of DNA Saturday. So let's start talking about the SN6. Let's talk about this weapon and why is it this weapon is so underused? Because in my personal opinion, I think it's one of the most underused submachine guns in the game. Of course, the AMR9 I feel as though is still more underused, but in terms of just the sheer number of people using it, this gun isn't up there, man. The SN6 is not up there, and I think the reason that is because I think a lot of the other SMGs, they kind of do what this gun can do, but a little bit better, right? If I think of like a really powerful long range, like a distance submachine gun, kind of like I picture like an MTAR X or something from Call of Duty Ghosts, like a submachine gun that's got good range, I think of the ASM-1 because it just hits like a truck down range, right? It doesn't really kick a lot. If I think of like a close quarters powerhouse, I kind of think of the MP11 with its crazy fire rate. If I think of like a medium range to close range, just overall good submachine gun, I think of the KF5. When I think of the SN6, I think of it as a submachine gun that's like, well, I guess it doesn't kick a whole lot, and the iron sights are pretty good, I suppose, but the damage on it is pretty weak, and I think that's one of the big reasons why a lot of people don't tend to actually end up running this submachine gun. Yeah, which is really kind of a shame, because it is kind of a fun submachine gun, but I guess I'm in the exact same boat, because I only have one class with the SN6, and it's actually, you guys know it as my objective class, my class where I've got flak jacket, I've got trophy system, I've got 2 stuns on it, and I've got basically everything I need to jump into a hard point, or jump into like a B, domination on comeback, B flag, something like that. You know, that's my objective class, and that's why I use the SN6 on. But aside from that, I don't use the SN6 recreationally really at all, now that I think about it. Maybe I should try it out a little bit more, see if I can see some good things about this gun, see some more positivities to it, because there just isn't a lot of people actually representing this gun, actually using it a whole lot, so it's definitely nice to see a DNA bomb actually acquired with it. Let's go ahead and talk about the Cray class here. What are we doing with our SN6 to make it good? Maybe some of us actually want to try out an SN6 class after this, because we realize, man, nobody uses this gun, so let's go ahead and try using it a bit more. So the attachments he's using are going to be foregrip, advanced rifling, as well as extended mag. So he's not using a variant of the SN6 whatsoever. For example, I ended up getting the SN6 Money recently out of a supply drop, which is pretty cool. It's definitely a very good variant, but he has no variant whatsoever. Keep in mind the gun itself is pretty usable. You don't need to have a specific variant to be able to use it. Some guns you're like, well, I don't even want to use the gun unless I have a special variant for it or something. This is not one of those guns. SN6 is pretty good. I like advanced rifling. I like extended mags on here, but I would not recommend using foregrip on this gun, just because the gun itself doesn't actually kick a whole lot as is. You might want to try switching that out for maybe something else. Maybe switch it out for a red dot sight. Maybe you just don't have a primary gunfighter on your class whatsoever. That way you can kind of have 2 perk 1s or something like that. I just really wouldn't recommend using foregrip on here, but hey, who am I to argue? He ends up using it in this gameplay and it works out pretty well. In terms of perks, we're using low profile, standard perk. That's all we got for that. We got blind eye in perk 2, another standard perk in my opinion. And then for perk 3, we've got toughness as well as scavenger. And I want to address something I started saying last week in last week's episodes of DNA Saturday. So last week I'm like, everybody uses scavenger in DNA Saturday. They just do. Every single DNA Saturday video, for whatever reason, scavenger is on their class. Is it possible that how people do well in this game is just by running scavenger? You automatically do more damage if you're running scavenger or something like that. And of course I was joking, but somebody in the comment section pointed out something that really kind of made me think, and now I'm considering using scavenger. He's like, well, what if people always end up using scavenger so they can do the super fast reloads in Advanced Warfare here without ever actually having to run out of ammo as a result of that? And basically, it's like having sleight of hand built into the game. I was like, whoa! I don't think that's why they're doing it. I don't think that's why people are doing this in DNA Saturdays and different videos that I post up here. I don't think that's the reason why people do that, but it's something that could work. Like, you know, if you how is it? You double tap X, or you can make yourself do a really fast reload here in Advanced Warfare, but it gets rid of like a lot of your ammo if you do so. But if you're using Scavenger, you can continue to do that and continue to pick up more ammo as you go, essentially giving yourself sleight of hand in the game. I thought that was a pretty interesting comment, something I never would have thought to put together. I mean, I've never really ran Scavenger in the game, but I still don't think I'm going to. But I'm just saying it's pretty interesting that you could do something like that, where you could constantly always have the super fast reloads here in Advanced Warfare, and if you're using Scavenger, you never end up actually losing any of your ammo as a result of that. That could be pretty cool. Right here, he's spamming around, and look at the clock. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and he gets this guy right there, ladies and gentlemen. That was the end. That was one of the big reasons why I chose this this gameplay for DNA Saturday. Was the sole fact that right there he ends up getting the DNA bomb as time expires. Look down there, 0, 0, 0, 1. He had 0.1 second left in the game when he actually got the DNA bomb right there. Of course, he's not actually going to be able to call it in. Of course, the game is actually over, but still, man, that was one of the most clutch endings. So a couple cool things with this DNA bomb. We got to see the SN6 get a little bit of representation, which I definitely like to see that. We got to see one of the most clutch DNA bombs I think we've seen here on the channel, considering he had a fraction of a second left in the game when he actually ended up picking it up. I thought it was an awesome overall DNA bomb, and thank you to Mr. Atomic for actually sending this gameplay in, because I think we all definitely enjoyed watching it. So check out that final score there. 57 kills, 4 deaths, we had 11 captures, and 12 defense. Talk about playing the objective and just getting a crazy score, as well as getting a really clutch DNA bomb. I don't think it gets much better than that gameplay, ladies and gentlemen. So once again, thank you to Mr. Atomic for sending in this gameplay. I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode of DNA Saturday, and if you did, please be sure to leave a rating where you guys feel the video deserves. And if you guys would like to submit your DNA bombs for next week's episode of DNA Saturday, watch the video. It's on your screen right now. There's an annotation you can click, as was a link to it down in the video description. You need to watch that video before submitting your stuff for DNA Saturday. Be sure to go ahead and check out that video. If you guys would like to go ahead and check out Mr. Atomic, who of course was the player in this week's episode of DNA Saturday, you can find him over at youtube.com/atomic. Now keep in mind, it's spelled a bit different, so as you can see it on your screen right now, it's AT0MMMIC Atomic. You can find him there. There's an annotation on your screen, or there's a link to him down in the video description. Whichever you prefer, both open up in a brand new tab for you, and you guys go ahead and check out his YouTube channel. What does he post over there? Well, he posts Call of Duty for the most part, and he has a couple series. He does Road to a Live DNA Bomb, where he does a live series trying to get DNA bombs live, and he also has a live series where it's basically Road to Diamond and Royalty Camo with different guns within the game. He also posts glitch videos as well as DNA bombs. Basically, he likes to post up Call of Duty stuff, so go ahead and give him a look. Hope you guys all enjoyed this week's episode of DNA Saturday, and if you did, please be sure to leave a rating where you guys feel the video deserves. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day.